Hey guys, how's it going? In this video today, we're going to be talking about this optic right here. But you know what? We're not really Battlefield enough, so that's a lot better. Before we get into the rest of this video, I do just want to say quickly, all links will be in the description down below for this product, anything I mention. Speaking of that, if you have an airsoft story that you want to tell, or you have friends that have airsoft stories that they want to tell, or you just want to read some fun airsoft stories, go to r/airsoft storytime. That is my brand new, not really brand new, but I'm talking about it now, so I'm gonna say it's brand new subreddit that's dedicated to airsoft stories. If you want to tell one, or if you want to read one, that's where you go. So I'm not gonna lie, guys, I've gotten some Amazon Airsoft optics before, and they've all worked very well. Like, that is not a because I reviewed them, they worked well. Like, I have used all of them and they have worked well. I've also shot out 2 of them. I'm not gonna be doing that with this one because it's just so pretty. Like, I'm willing to bet that it will have the same exact outcome as every other time that I've shot an airsoft optic. And so because of that, I don't want this one to get shattered. I don't. I just simply don't. I like it too much. I'm going to be talking about all the specifics of what comes in the box, the product information, things like that later on. But right now, I just want you guys to see how pretty this thing is. Also, because it is one of those Amazon optics, let me see if I can get this lined up properly with the GoPro. There we go. We've got the dot right there, and it can switch to, I wasn't even touching the thing. It can switch what's specific. I don't think putting it closer is actually going to enlarge it. But you can switch what actual reticle you're given. Just like the past 2 red dot sights that I've reviewed, it's very similar in nature. Think of this almost like the other 2 that I reviewed, but just with a better external look. Because realistically, that's exactly what this is. I think the first Feyachi red dot I reviewed was red and green, and this one's just red, but outside of that, think of it basically the same. Speaking of Feyachi, you guys probably noticed that I have the magnifier that came with the last Feyachi red dot that I reviewed on this gun as well. Well, it's not exactly perfect because this is like a cut-off rectangular shape, but I'm definitely not going to be able to line this up right, but that's probably as good as we're gonna get. You can actually use these 2 in combination, which is really cool, and it gives major Battlefield 4 vibes. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of why I did the little intro thing before. This is like, this type of sight with a magnifier on a 416 is a very Battlefield 4 kind of thing, and for that reason alone, I think this is what I'm gonna end up running as an optic on the 416. The only thing I will mention, though, that I'm not really sure how I feel about is this little gap right here. So I don't know if I'll be able to show it very well, but those are springs in there that are forcing this front side to be higher up than the rear side is going higher up than the front side. I'm sure I can sight it in to counter that. It's just a weird thing that I do notice, and I'm not sure if it's necessarily a con because you can adjust where the reticle is. So if you can, I haven't actually sighted this thing in yet, so if I can counteract that, that's gonna be awesome. If not, I'll put that in a pinned comment whether or not I'm able to counteract the rear lifting up with just adjusting where the reticle sits. As I mentioned before, I'm not going to be doing a shooting test on the glass, so instead, let's jump to my desk where I'm going to give you a top-down run-through of everything that this will come with. Okay, so now that we're at the desk, let's go over everything that comes in the box with the OTW RS25. Just showing you guys that the box is indeed empty. There's nothing else that we could be missing, so this is everything that comes with the product. You get a spare battery, because one does come in the sight, an Allen key for, or hex wrench, whatever you want to call them. For me personally, it's all intertwined terminology. You get a cleaning cloth for the lens, obviously a manual, and then the sight itself. Personally, I really do, as I said before, I really do like how the sight looks. It's got the dimensions of the lens on the side. It doesn't have any specific branding, which I kind of like that, to be honest. I know with some of the Feyachi stuff, there's like Feyachi branding on it, which it doesn't look bad, but like personally, unless it's a really high-end brand, or maybe not high-end, maybe just iconic is the word I'm looking for. Like for example, EOTech. Like if you had an EOTech, you'd want the EOTech trades on it, even though everyone can tell that it's an EOTech as soon as they look at it, for example. So where it's not one of those brands, I do honestly appreciate that it doesn't just have like big letters, their branding on the side or something like that. That's something that companies like Lancer Tactical and Vulcan do that I'm personally not a fan of. Like, if they make a good product, that's pretty cool, but for me personally, they're not exactly known for high quality, so I don't want their name plastered on the side of my optic, you know what I mean? Mini tangent aside, never getting sponsored by them, you can tell that these products are, or at least were, initially made for hunting or just real steel firearms, considering that the manual has all hunting gear in it. Looking through, I've already looked through this manual. It's very, honestly, it's one of the better, well put together manuals that I've seen, like out of these Amazon companies. But one thing that I do think is pretty cool, if I can find the thing, yeah, for the reticle selection, 5 MOA dot, 10 MOA dot, crosshair, 5 MOA dot, and a 50 MOA circle. Like, they have real steel firearms in mind when they're creating these, which I think is partially why people gravitate to them for Airsoft, because the budget real gun stuff tends to be better performing for the price than all the Airsoft equivalents. At least in my experience, that's what the case has been. Like, look at the Feyachi Falcon scope I reviewed. That is still my #1 short dot scope for Airsoft. I will stand by it. Nothing that's strictly an Airsoft brand that I have seen or used as far as short dots comes close to it. But yeah, so far I am really enjoying the look of this thing. It reminds me of Battlefield stuff, especially on the 416. Thanks for reminding me of that, Cam. I like that it has the variability of what reticle you want to use. For me, I always kind of lean towards either the dot on like the far left or the far right, like the dot with the circle. Those are just the two that I tend to gravitate towards. You've got the adjustments like for up, down, right, left, kind of on the left side and the top, so that way you can never mix up which one you're adjusting. I do enjoy that. That's pretty nice. I mean, standard. I'm expecting that to be there, but I like that they're in like easy to see, easy to get to places. Also, as some of you may not know, just because some of you may not be too into sights or anything like that, like for example, if this is your first, like if this is going to be your first sight, you probably won't know this, but the battery goes in here. So to show you guys, I keep accidentally turning the actual like light, like the brightness knob instead. But yeah, you unscrew the top, battery's right there, comes with one and a spare for you, but so you can just screw that right back in. Boom. And I made sure to turn it back off. Fantastic. Yeah, the only gripe that I tend to see with this thing is that, like, this gap right here. Again, I don't know how well you guys can see that from here. Maybe you can see it a little better on this side, I'm not sure. But with the springs that are underneath here, I don't think it's gonna impede function, but part of me is just wondering why it shipped out like that, like why it's not even. Do I think it'll affect anything in the realistically? No, but it is just something to note that I'm not entirely sure how I would adjust that. But as long as it doesn't affect, like as long as I can still sight this thing in, I don't see there being a problem. But yeah, that's everything that comes in the box. I do appreciate that it comes with an extra CR2032 battery, because sometimes these kinds of sights don't come with spare batteries. I think the last one I reviewed did not. So I appreciate that a lot. Also, really appreciate that you can use this with the Feiachi magnifier, no problem. Like when you look down the magnifier, you can see the top of the sight, but it's open enough where you will not have a problem sighting in with the magnifier if you're also using this. So pretty cool, not gonna lie, pretty cool. But yeah, that's going to be wrapping up this little review. I am personally a fan of these. If you want to get one yourself, again, link in the description down below. If you do have an airsoft story that you want to tell, or that you have a friend that they have a really cool story that you want other people to know of, go to r/airsoft storytime. That is my Airsoft Stories subreddit. It is brand new. It's not brand new. I keep saying it's brand new because it's not very active. I want it to be very active. So go to it, flood it with your stories. I want to create a community of storytellers in Airsoft, and that's, I hope, is going to be the place to do it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.